They texted you good morning on day 2. By week 3, they said you were the one. By month 2, they were gone. Or worse, they stayed and turned into someone completely different. And you were left wondering, wasn't any of it real? How did someone who loved me that intensely just switch off? What you experienced has a name. And once you understand it, you'll never be fooled by it again. I want to say something important before we go further. Falling for this doesn't make you naive. It doesn't make you weak. In my therapy room, I've sat across from doctors, lawyers, psychologists, brilliant self-aware people who fell for exactly this because it's designed to work for anyone. The shame you might feel right now, pull it down. You didn't fall for a person. You fell for a calculated pattern that was specially designed to bypass your defense. So they want to show up exactly how it works, so it never works on you again. What you experience is called love bombing, and it's one of the most well-documented patterns in relationship psychology. Here's how it works. In the beginning, the love bomber floods you with attention, affection, and intensity, constant texts, unexpected gifts. Never felt this way before. You are different from everyone else. I think you are the one for me. It feels like finally being truly seen, finally being chosen. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. They are not seeing you. They are mirroring you. They are reflecting back exactly what you want to hear. Because they studied you, your posts, your conversations, your values, and they built a version of themselves that fits perfectly. Of course, it's not connection, it's a performance. I worked with a client, let's call her Angela. Within 3 weeks of meeting someone, he had already talked about marriage, moving in together, building a future. She'd never felt so certain about anyone later. But 6 months later, he was cold, critical, and emotionally absent. When she brought it up, he told her she was too sensitive, that she was imagining things. Why? Because the man who showed up in month 1 never existed. I also worked with a man, let's call him John. A woman pursued him intensely. She made him feel like a hero. Within weeks, she was calling him her soulmate. But the moment he set a boundary, she became someone he didn't recognize. Cold, distant, punishing. Look at this. Can you see that? Same pattern, different face. Why do people do this? Love bombers typically struggle with deep emotional insecurity. They need constant validation and control. The bombing phase is about hooking you, creating a bond so intense that when they pull back, you're already too attached to it. So remember this, the intensity isn't love, it's a trap. Yes, trap, and I call it trap. The most painful part. The trap works because it targets your most beautiful quality, your capacity to love. If this video is resonating, hit the like button. It helps more people find this before it's too late. And tell me in the comments, have you experienced love bombing? Just comment bombed below. I read every single one and we will chat. By the way, next video is called Why You Always Fall for the Wrong Person. Comment next and subscribe so you don't. Here's your real solution. So how do you protect yourself? 3 things. First, slow is safe. Real love can handle the pace. If someone is pushing the relationship forward faster than feels natural, that's not passion, that's pressure. Someone who genuinely loves you will respect your pace. Someone who's love bombing you needs you attached before you wake up. Second, watch what happens when you pull back slightly. Love bombers can't tolerate distance. If you take a day to respond or say you need a space, and they react with panic, guilt tripping, or anger. That reaction tells you everything. Secure people can handle space. Love bombers can't. Third, notice if their story keeps changing. Love bombers often can't maintain consistency. Details about their past, their relationships, their values, they shift because the person they presented wasn't real. And maintaining a fiction is exhausting. The rule is simple. Intensity at the beginning is not a sign of love, it's a sign to slow down and watch. If you recognized your story in this video, I don't want you to leave feeling foolish. I want you to leave feeling armed. Because here's the truth. The fact that you responded to someone's love and attention, that's not a flaw. That's humanity. That's what we are all wired for. You weren't weak. You were human, and they exploited that. The work now is learning to let love in slowly, to let people show you who they are over time, not over a week. Because real love doesn't need you to rush. Real love isn't afraid of time. And now that you know what love bombing looks like, you'll feel the difference. Of course, recognizing love bombing is the first step, but understanding why you are drawn to that intensity in the first place, that's the deeper work. That's why in my mind game course, I show you exactly what's happening beneath the surface of these patterns and how to stop them before they pull you in again. First section is completely free, and if you want it, you can send message on WhatsApp, Telegram, or iMessage just right now and receive it.